Welcome to Sleep Shaper, your destination for expertly crafted sleep stories that help you fall asleep faster and deeper. I'm Saiful, your host. I'm so glad you're here, ready to unwind and find peace as we embark on a calming journey of forgiveness and grace in tonight's story. The Calm in the Storm, a Christian bedtime story of trust. We explore the comforting moment when Jesus calms the storm. Let the soft whispers of the evening breeze and the gentle unfolding of grace guide you into a deep, restful sleep. The night is deep, blanketed in darkness, and the air feels thick, heavy with the hum of a coming storm. The wind begins to howl through the trees outside, its wild, untamed breath making the branches sway and creak, as if the trees themselves are whispering to each other. The rain follows, tapping against the windows in a steady, rhythmic patter, each drop a tiny reminder of the storm's power. The sound of the wind and rain mixes with the soft rustling of the leaves, creating a chorus of nature that fills the night, both beautiful and overwhelming. It feels like the world outside is holding its breath, waiting for anything to happen. Inside, Sarah lies in bed, her small hands gripping the edge of her blanket, pulling it closer to her chest as the storm rages outside. Her eyes are wide, blinking at the shadows that dance across the walls. The flickering candlelight by her bedside casts soft, moving shadows that feel like quiet reminders of the darkness outside. The room seems smaller than usual, as if the storm has somehow shrunk the space around her, making her feel alone and vulnerable. Each clap of thunder shakes the house, the deep rumbling echoing through the walls like a growl from some great, unseen beast. Sarah's heart races in response, thumping loudly in her chest. Her breath comes in quick, shallow bursts, and the sound of her own heartbeat seems to drown out everything else. The storm outside feels so close, so powerful, and the sounds of the wind and rain pressing against the windows only make the world seem more distant and unreachable. The wind whistles through the cracks in the house, a soft, eerie sound that sends a shiver down Sarah's spine. Her pillow is pressed tight against her chest, and she pulls it closer, as if it could shield her from the storm. Her mind races, filled with thoughts of the thunder and the darkness that feels like it's creeping in on her. Will the storm ever end? How long will it go on? In the midst of her fear, Sarah's mother's voice suddenly fills the room. It's a soft, steady sound, like the calm breeze that precedes a gentle rain. "Sweetheart, I know the storm feels frightening right now," her mother whispers, her voice smooth and soothing. "But remember, we are never alone. Let me tell you a story of peace in the midst of a storm." The warmth in her mother's voice is like a comfort wrapped around Sarah, and she feels the fear inside her begin to soften just a little. The candlelight flickers once more, casting a soft glow on her mother's face as she leans in closer, her presence a balm to Sarah's anxious heart. Sarah's body begins to relax, her breath slowing as she listens, the comforting sound of her mother's words cutting through the noise of the storm outside. As Sarah settles back into her bed, her eyes now closed, she begins to relax under the gentle warmth of the blanket. The soft flicker of the candlelight seems to grow steadier, its golden glow a quiet comfort that lulls her into a sense of calm. The howling wind outside, once so overpowering, now seems distant, as if the story her mother is telling is building a peaceful barrier between Sarah and the storm beyond. Her mother's voice, still soft but steady, begins to fill the room, weaving a gentle, soothing rhythm that matches the stillness Sarah begins to feel inside. "There was once a time when Jesus and his disciples were on a boat," she says, her voice like the soft rustling of leaves outside, calm and steady, moving with the rhythm of the rain. They were crossing a great, beautiful lake, the Sea of Galilee, where the sky was clear and the air was warm. Everything was peaceful, and the boat gently rocked on the water, carrying them across the vast lake. Sarah pictures the boat in her mind, smooth and steady, gently moving over the calm waters, the sun's soft glow warming everything in its path. She imagines the disciples sitting quietly, watching the world around them, the cool breeze gently ruffling their hair, the soft lap of the water against the boat's side. It was a moment of serenity, filled with the peaceful hum of nature, the only sounds being the gentle whispers of the wind and the soft splash of water. But suddenly, something changed. Her mother continues, her voice softening as if to reflect the shift in the story. Out of nowhere, a great storm appeared. Darker clouds filled the sky, and the wind began to howl like a wild animal. The water, which had been so calm, suddenly turned violent. Waves crashed over the sides of the boat, and the disciples were filled with fear. Sarah imagines the scene unfold, the once calm waters now churning violently, the wind whistling, fierce and untamed. The sky, once peaceful and bright, is now dark, filled with ominous clouds. The boat is rocked harshly, the disciples struggling to hold on, their faces filled with terror as the storm surrounds them. The howling wind fills the space around her mother's voice, giving the story a sense of urgency. The storm raged on, the winds howling like 1,000 wolves. Her mother says, the imagery vivid in Sarah's mind. The disciples were terrified, their hearts racing as they held on to the boat, hoping that it would not be tossed into the dark waters. They were afraid for their lives. They couldn't see how they could survive this storm. The storm outside seems to stir again, as if joining the intensity of the story. But inside Sarah's room, she feels the safety of the space. The warmth of her mother's voice anchors her, like the steady rhythm of a heartbeat, pulling her deeper into the story's world. With the wind howling and the waves crashing, the disciples cried out in fear, waking Jesus. "Lord, save us," they called out. "We are going to drown." Sarah imagines the disciples, their voices trembling, desperate in the midst of the chaos. The storm feels like it's swallowing everything around them, and she can almost hear the desperate calls for help, the fear in the disciples' voices cutting through the storm. Yet, as they call out to Jesus, Sarah feels her own fear start to dissolve in the peace of her mother's words. Her mother's voice softens again, like the first gentle rain after a thunderstorm. But even in the middle of the storm, even with all the chaos, Jesus was not afraid. He was calm, resting, knowing that everything was in God's hands. Sarah feels a wave of calm wash over her as she envisions Jesus, lying peacefully in the boat, undisturbed by the howling wind and crashing waves. Her heart slows, her body relaxing with the thought that Jesus, with his unwavering faith, knew that everything would be okay. The storm outside has softened its intensity, now a distant memory. But the gentle hum of rain on the roof and the occasional rustle of leaves in the wind fill the air, creating a soothing, calming backdrop. Inside Sarah's room, the candle flickers softly, casting a gentle, steady glow. The shadows on the walls now dance slowly, like a quiet rhythm, reflecting the peace that has begun to settle in her heart. Her mother's voice continues, her words as calm and steady as the steady flicker of the candle. When the disciples called out in fear, Jesus woke up. He rose, not in haste or panic, but in complete calm. He saw his disciples' fear, and he knew what to do. Sarah imagines Jesus rising from where he had been resting, his movements slow but full of authority, as though he was not disturbed by the storm around him. The scene in Sarah's mind feels surreal, like watching a gentle wave pass through a calm sea. As the storm's rage seems to lose its power, the moment Jesus opens his eyes, his presence is like a warm, comforting light, filling the space with peace. Much like the soft glow of the candlelight around her, her mother's voice takes on a gentle authority. Just like the calmness that Jesus carried, Jesus stood in the boat, and he looked at the wind and the waves. He spoke with a voice that was full of peace, full of power. Quiet, be still. And just like that, the storm stopped. Sarah envisions the moment as if she were standing there beside Jesus, watching him speak. She imagines the wind, which had once been wild and violent, now suddenly quieting, its ferocity melting away as his voice rings through the air, clear, strong, yet filled with deep calm. The waves, crashing moments before, are now still, smooth like glass, reflecting the soft light of the sky. Now clear again. The rain outside seems to soften further as Sarah listens, her breath slowing in sync with the peaceful rhythm of the story. She feels the atmosphere around her fill with a similar peace, the storm of her own heart, filled with fear just moments before, now calm. Can you feel it? Her mother whispers gently, as if she too can sense the peace that fills the room. Jesus' words brought calm to the storm, and just as he calmed the storm outside, he can bring peace to the storms in our hearts too. Sarah's heart slows even further as she reflects on her mother's words. The storm outside, though once loud and frightening, is now nothing more than a soft, distant memory. In the warmth of her bed, surrounded by the love of her parents, Sarah feels the comfort of Jesus' presence, just like the disciples did when he calmed the wind and waves. The world around her, once filled with uncertainty, now feels safe and still. Her mother continues, her voice a soft lullaby. Even when things feel chaotic and scary, we can trust in Jesus. His peace is always available to us. When we are afraid, we can call on him and he will calm our hearts, just like he calmed the storm. Sarah feels the truth of her mother's words sink deep into her soul. It's as if Jesus' presence is wrapping around her like a soft, warm blanket, protecting her from any fear that might creep in. She imagines Jesus standing beside her, his calm presence making the storm of her heart dissolve, just as he made the storm on the sea go still. As her mother's words continue to soothe her, Sarah begins to feel the storm within her own heart fade. Her breath, which had once been quick and shallow, now slows. She feels her muscles relax, her body sinking deeper into the comfort of her bed, surrounded by the warmth of her parents' love and the peace of Jesus. The storm outside has no power over her now, just as Jesus' voice had no trouble commanding the wind and the waves. As Sarah listens intently, the storm outside has quieted entirely, leaving the world outside wrapped in the stillness of the night. The rain, which had been so wild and loud, now falls softly, like a gentle reminder of God's steady hand. The wind, too, has faded, and all that remains is the soft rustling of the trees in the distance, a peaceful hum that mirrors the gentle calm in Sarah's heart. Her mother's voice continues, flowing softly through the room like the gentle rhythm of a lullaby, steady and reassuring. After Jesus calmed the storm, he turned to his disciples, who were still standing in awe of what had just happened. He looked at them with love and asked, Why are you so afraid? Do you still have no faith?" Sarah imagines the disciples, their faces filled with wonder and confusion as they try to comprehend the power they had just witnessed. Their fear, so strong moments before, now feels small compared to the overwhelming peace that Jesus has brought. Sarah feels a quiet sense of awe wash over her as she envisions the disciples standing there, surrounded by still waters, the once raging storm now completely calm. Jesus' words weren't harsh. Her mother continues gently, but they were a reminder that faith in God's power brings peace. Jesus was teaching the disciples that even in the midst of their fear, they could trust in Him. His presence alone was enough to calm the storm, and it was enough to calm their hearts. Sarah reflects on this, her thoughts moving softly as she imagines the disciples processing everything they had just experienced. She pictures them looking at the still waters, the vast lake, now peaceful and clear, as if the storm had never existed. Her heart feels lighter as she senses Jesus' love in every word He spoke, a love that is constant and unwavering, even in the fiercest of storms. Jesus wasn't angry at their fear, her mother continues, her voice full of warmth. He simply wanted them to remember that in every moment, no matter how big the storm, they could trust in Him. Their faith, even a small faith, could bring peace. Sarah takes a deep breath, feeling the gentle weight of these words settle deeply in her heart. She thinks about how the disciples, once filled with panic, now begin to understand that Jesus' power and love are greater than any fear. She knows that just as Jesus calmed the storm on the Sea of Galilee, He can calm the storms in her own heart too. The storm may return, but now she feels a quiet confidence that she can trust in Jesus. Just as the disciples did. Her mother's voice softens. The disciples were amazed. They said to each other, "Who is this? Even the wind and the waves obey Him." They began to realize that the same power that calmed the storm was the same power that was with them always. Sarah imagines the disciples' awe and wonder, their hearts filled with new faith. As she thinks about how Jesus calmed the storm with a simple command, she begins to understand that He has the power to bring peace, not just to the world, but to her own heart as well. Even when the storm outside or the worries inside seem too big to handle, Jesus is there, ready to calm the waves of fear and uncertainty. The world outside has now quieted entirely, and Sarah feels the peaceful rhythm of her breath, slow, mirroring the calm that fills her heart. Her thoughts become clearer, free from the worries of the storm. She feels deeply reassured that just as Jesus calmed the mighty sea, He can calm any storm in her life. All she has to do is trust in Him. Her mother's voice, warm and full of love, gently finishes, "Sarah, remember that Jesus is always with us. When you trust in Him, He will bring peace to your heart. His love and power are greater than any storm, and with that trust, you will find peace too." The stillness in the room, combined with the soft hum of the night, creates a perfect, peaceful atmosphere. Sarah feels a deep, quiet trust settle in her heart, a trust that, no matter what comes, she can rest in the peace of Jesus. The night outside has grown still. The storm, once fierce and unpredictable, has passed, leaving only the soft whispers of wind and the quiet patter of rain against the windows, like a soft lullaby. The air inside is warm and comforting, and Sarah can feel the weight of the blanket wrapped snugly around her, a gentle cocoon of warmth. The flickering candlelight, now steady and calm, casts a soft, peaceful glow across the room, creating gentle shadows that dance like the comforting embrace of God's presence. Sarah's mother's voice continues to flow over her, soothing and steady, as if each word is a quiet reassurance. "Sweetheart," she says softly, her tone full of love. Just as Jesus calmed the storm on the Sea of Galilee, He can bring peace to the storms in our hearts, too. We all have storms times when we're afraid or uncertain, when we feel like everything around us is out of control. But when we trust in Jesus, He will bring peace to those storms. Sarah closes her eyes, taking in her mother's words, the warmth of her voice wrapping around her like a soft, safe blanket. She imagines Jesus standing beside her, His presence strong but gentle, as if He is holding her in His arms, whispering words of comfort just for her. She can almost feel His peace radiating outward, touching her heart and soul. Like the calm after a storm, her mother's voice continues, gentle and loving. Jesus didn't just calm the storm on the Sea of Galilee. He is always with us, even in the middle of our own storms. When you feel afraid or worried, remember that Jesus is right there beside you. He is always ready to help, to bring peace, and to remind you that you are never alone. Sarah's thoughts drift to the disciples. Again, she imagines them, still sitting in the boat after the storm has calmed, their hearts filled with awe and wonder. They had seen the storm be silenced by Jesus' command, and their fear had been replaced by a quiet, trusting peace. Just like them, Sarah begins to feel a deep sense of peace settle into her heart, knowing that Jesus is always there to calm her fears, to bring peace into her life. The candlelight flickers gently, casting a soft glow on the room, and Sarah feels the warmth of that light extend into her heart. She imagines herself in the boat with the disciples, surrounded by the calm waters, with Jesus standing beside her, His presence steady and strong. The storm has passed, and in its place, there is only peace. Whenever you face a storm in your life, whether it's a big one or a small one, remember that Jesus is with you. Her mother continues, her voice a gentle reminder of God's unshakable love. You can always call on Him. Just like He calmed the winds and the waves, He will bring peace to your heart. His love is always with you, always ready to comfort and guide you. Sarah smiles softly, feeling the truth of her mother's words sink deep into her heart. She knows that no matter what challenges come her way, she can trust that Jesus will be there to bring peace, to calm her fears, and to remind her that she is never alone. With each breath, she feels more relaxed, more at ease. The storm outside has long since passed, and the world feels quiet and safe. The gentle rhythm of the night, the soft rustling of the leaves, the occasional drip of rain from the roof fills the room with a peaceful silence. Like the stillness after a storm has passed, her mother's voice continues to soothe her now, soft and slow. Sarah, when you trust in Jesus, you can rest easy, knowing that He is always with you. His love never fails, and His peace is always available. No matter what storms come your way, you can always find comfort in His presence. Sarah feels the weight of her body relax into the softness of the bed, her breath slow and steady. The fear that had once gripped her heart has melted away, replaced by the warmth of Jesus' love and the peace that He brings. She knows now, with every part of her being, that Jesus is with her, always beside her, always bringing peace in every storm, with her mother's comforting words still lingering in the air. Sarah's eyelids flutter. She feels safe, secure, and deeply loved. The storm is no longer a part of her world. In its place, there is only calm, stillness, and the quiet whisper of God's love surrounding her, filling her heart with peace. And as Sarah drifts deeper into sleep, she carries with her the reminder that Jesus is always with her, ready to calm the storms of her heart and lead her to a place of rest and peace. The world outside is quiet now, the rain nothing more than a soft drizzle. The wind's whispers gentle as they carry the fragrance of fresh earth through the air. Inside, the room feels warm and still, the gentle flicker of the candlelight casting a soft, golden glow over everything. The soft hum of the night surrounds Sarah as she lies tucked beneath the soft folds of her blanket, the peaceful rhythm of her breath matching the quiet stillness of the room. As Sarah listens to her mother's steady, calming voice, she begins to feel a deeper sense of peace. Sarah, sometimes we don't always understand why storms come, or how long they will last, her mother's voice says gently. But one thing we can always know is that God's timing is perfect. He knows exactly when the storm will pass and when the calm will come. And just as Jesus calmed the storm at the perfect moment, He will calm the storms in our lives when the time is right. Sarah's mind drifts to the image of the disciples, still wide-eyed with awe after the storm had calmed so suddenly at just the right moment. She pictures them looking out at the quiet waters, the dark clouds slowly parting to reveal the peaceful sky above. It was as if God had perfectly timed every moment of the storm, and now the calm had arrived at the perfect time, when they needed it most. Her mother's voice continues, soft and reassuring. Just like the storm on the Sea of Galilee, we might not always know when our storms will end, but we can trust that God knows exactly what we need. His timing is never early, never late, but always perfect. We can rest in the assurance that when we trust Him, He will lead us through the storm, step by step. The soft rustling of the leaves outside is now a gentle lullaby, and Sarah feels herself sinking deeper into the comfort of the moment. Her mind drifts as she imagines herself walking through the quiet waters with Jesus, surrounded by the peace that He brings. She feels a sense of calm that she has never known before. Calm not just from the storm outside, but from the peace that is growing in her heart, knowing that God's timing will always be just as it should be. Her mother continues, her voice like the steady flow of a calm river. Sometimes we want things to change quickly, especially when we feel afraid or uncertain. But God's plan unfolds in His perfect time. He knows what we need, when we need it, and He is with us every step of the way, even when it feels like we have to wait. Sarah feels the weight of her mother's words sink in, and she is filled with a quiet, growing trust. She realizes that waiting, though sometimes hard, is not something she has to do alone. God is with her, always, and He is working things out in His perfect timing. The peace that comes from this trust is like a soft blanket, wrapping around her heart and filling her with a sense of security. Remember, her mother whispers, when we trust in God's perfect timing, we can rest, knowing that He will bring us peace at just the right moment. We don't need to fear the storm, because He is always there, guiding us through it, and bringing us calm when the time is right. Sarah feels her body relax completely now, her heart light and at peace. The storm outside has passed, and the world feels safe again. She feels no rush, no pressure, just a quiet, deep trust in God's perfect timing. His love surrounds her, steady and constant, and she knows that no matter what comes, He will bring peace when it is needed most. As Sarah's breathing slows, her eyes flutter with the peaceful weight of the night. She drifts into the deepest sleep, knowing that her trust in God's timing will carry her through every storm. There is no need to hurry or fear. With Jesus by her side, she can rest, knowing that the storm will pass and the calm will come at just the right moment. The night outside has become completely still. The rain has stopped, and the wind no longer stirs the trees. All that remains is the soft, steady pulse of the world, quiet and peaceful, as if the earth itself is at rest. Inside Sarah's room, the air is warm, the gentle flicker of the candle casting soft, dancing shadows on the walls. It feels as though time has slowed, allowing the world to take a deep breath, to pause, and to rest. Sarah lies in her bed, her body completely relaxed now. The fear she had felt earlier has melted away, replaced with a deep, comforting peace. She feels her body sinking into the soft mattress, her muscles unwinding as if they too are being cradled by God's love. The peaceful rhythm of her breathing matches the stillness of the night, slow and steady, like the calm of a quiet sea. Her thoughts are soft, like the sound of the rain that has now faded into memory. Sarah imagines herself floating on a calm lake, surrounded by still waters. The sky above is clear, and the stars twinkle softly, like little promises of God's love scattered across the sky. She can hear the gentle lapping of the water against the shore, and the world feels perfectly still, as though nothing could disturb the peace that fills the air. Sarah's heart feels light, free from worry or fear. She imagines herself resting in the embrace of Jesus, his presence steady and comforting. He holds her gently, his love like a soft blanket wrapped around her. "I am with you always." Sarah hears his voice in the quiet of her heart, the words like a steady, calm rhythm. "You are safe in my love, and I will always bring you peace." Her mother's voice, still warm and soothing, seems to echo these words. "Sarah, remember that in every moment of your life, God is with you, bringing peace when you need it most. His love surrounds you, keeping you safe, just as Jesus calmed the storm on the sea. His peace is always available to you." The room feels even more still now, and Sarah feels the weight of her mother's words sink deeply into her heart. The storm is no longer present in her mind or in the world outside. In its place, there is only peace, like the gentle calm after a long, restless night. Sarah feels held, secure, and loved, knowing that no matter what happens, Jesus will always bring peace to her heart. The candlelight flickers once more, casting its gentle glow over the room, and Sarah feels the soft warmth of the light envelop her. She thinks of the disciples, who had once been afraid, but now, after experiencing Jesus' peace, knew that they could trust him completely. Just like them, Sarah knows that no matter what storms may come, she can rest in the certainty of God's love and his presence with her. Her breathing deepens, slower now, as the peace of the night fills her soul. She no longer feels anxious or worried about the world outside, for she knows that God is with her, always ready to bring calm and rest. The stillness of the night wraps around her like a cocoon, soft and safe, and she feels herself drifting into the deepest rest. As her body relaxes fully into the soft bed, Sarah's thoughts fade, her heart full of peace, knowing that she is loved and safe in God's hands. There is no need for fear, no need for worry. Jesus has calmed the storm, both in her heart and in the world around her. And in this peaceful moment, she can rest completely, surrounded by the love and peace that only God can give. As Sarah drifts deeper into sleep, the room around her grows even quieter. The soft hum of the night fills the space, with only the faintest rustling of the trees outside and the gentle trickle of rainwater running down the windows. The world is still, the silence profound, and Sarah feels as if time itself has paused, holding her in a peaceful embrace. Her body relaxes fully into the soft mattress, the warmth of the blanket cradling her like a gentle cocoon. The candlelight, now almost gone, leaves behind a dim glow, casting a soft halo in the room. Sarah's mind begins to drift like a leaf on a quiet stream, her thoughts moving slower, more peacefully, as the sounds of the night become a gentle lullaby. In her dreams, Sarah imagines herself walking beside Jesus, his presence steady and comforting, like the calm that fills the space between moments. She feels the soft, warm embrace of his love as they walk together on a quiet path, the air around them cool and fresh, filled with the scent of earth and flowers. The world feels peaceful, serene, as though they are moving through a quiet sanctuary, untouched by the chaos and storms of life. Don't worry, she hears Jesus' gentle voice, his words soft like the breeze that brushes her face. The storms will pass, Sarah. My peace will always be with you, even when you cannot see it. Trust that I am here, holding you in the quiet moments and the loud ones. Sarah feels the warmth of his words settle in her heart. She walks alongside him, no longer afraid, no longer anxious. There is an unseen calm that surrounds her, a peace that doesn't require her to understand or see everything, but simply to trust in his presence and his love. It's the same peace that calmed the storm on the Sea of Galilee, the same peace that can calm any storm in her heart. The path they walk together is gentle, lined with soft flowers that sway in the breeze, their sweet scent filling the air, comforting her spirit. Even though the storms outside may rage, Sarah knows that the calm of Jesus' love is always within her reach. The peace she feels now is not just the stillness of the night, but an inner peace that is unwavering, like the quiet waters of a lake, still and clear, untouched by the winds that once disturbed them. Sarah trusts that this peace will stay with her even when the winds of life begin to blow again. She feels her heart beating steadily, calm and secure, just as the waves are calm after Jesus speaks his words of peace. I am with you, always, he says, the words echoing softly in her heart. Rest in my love, for I will never leave you. The path they walk seems to stretch on forever, a journey without fear, without doubt. Sarah no longer worries about the storm that had once frightened her. The peace she feels now is deeper than the storm. It's a calm that has been present all along, even in the moments of chaos. She is learning to trust in the unseen calm of God's presence, a peace that holds her and guides her, no matter what comes. As Sarah's dream deepens, she imagines herself sitting beside still waters, the gentle ripples lapping softly at the shore. The sound is calming, like a heartbeat, steady and unhurried. In this peaceful moment, she knows that even when the storms return, she can find rest in the calm that Jesus brings. The storm may appear, but it no longer has the power to unsettle her. Her heart is secure in the knowledge that God's love is the greatest peace of all. In the quiet of Sarah's sleep, the world around her feels serene, as though time itself has slowed to a gentle, peaceful rhythm. The faint sound of the rain's last droplets hitting the window now feels like a soft, distant murmur, like the lingering hum of a song that has already ended. The night is calm, the air cool and fresh, and Sarah feels as though she is floating in a sea of stillness, completely at peace in her dreams. Sarah finds herself in a beautiful, peaceful place, a meadow bathed in soft golden light. The grass beneath her feet is warm, and she feels a gentle breeze brushing against her skin. carrying the scent of fresh flowers and earth. The sound of birds singing softly in the trees fills the air, their melodies like a delicate symphony, echoing the peace that surrounds her. As Sarah looks around, she sees Jesus standing before her, his presence radiant and comforting. He smiles at her, his gaze full of love and understanding, as though he has been waiting for her to come to this peaceful place. His very presence seems to quiet the world around them, and Sarah feels a deep sense of calm that she has never known before. There are no worries, no fears, only the warm embrace of Jesus' love and the stillness of his peace. Come, walk with me, Jesus invites gently, his voice a soft, steady comfort, like a lullaby carried on the wind. Sarah takes a step forward, and as her feet touch the ground, she feels her heart lighten with every movement. The path ahead is lined with soft, green grass, and the air is filled with the sweet fragrance of blossoms. Each step she takes feels more peaceful, more grounded in the love that surrounds her. As she walks beside Jesus, she feels the weight of the world lifting from her shoulders, as if the very act of walking with him has removed all the worries and fears she once carried. The gentle rhythm of their steps matches the peaceful beat of her heart, and she begins to understand, in the depth of her soul, that peace is not just the absence of storms, but the presence of Jesus. Jesus speaks again, his voice steady and reassuring. Sarah, you are never alone. In every storm, in every moment of fear, my peace is with you. I am always by your side, walking with you through every challenge, and I will lead you to still waters where your heart can rest. Sarah feels a deep warmth in her chest as these words settle into her heart. She knows, without a doubt, that Jesus' peace is more than just a fleeting comfort. It is a deep, unshakable foundation that can calm any storm within her. The world around her may change, but Jesus' peace will always remain steady and true, like the soft rustling of leaves in the wind. She imagines herself resting beside still waters, the gentle ripples lapping at the shore in a steady, soothing rhythm. The water is clear and calm, reflecting the beauty of the sky above, and Sarah feels a deep connection to the peace that flows through the water, as if she, too, are part of that serene rhythm. As Sarah closes her eyes in the dream, she feels the presence of Jesus beside her, his love wrapping around her like a soft blanket. In this peaceful moment, she knows that nothing, no storm, no fear, no uncertainty can take away the peace that is hers through him. The wind, now a gentle breeze, carries the sweet sound of a distant lullaby, and Sarah feels her soul settle deeply into the peace that Jesus offers. There is no more restlessness in her heart, no more fear in her mind. She is surrounded by the calm that only Jesus can give, the same peace he brought to the storm on the Sea of Galilee, the same peace that has always been available to her whenever she chooses to trust in him. The night outside is still, as if the entire world has exhaled, wrapping itself in a blanket of quiet rest. The soft rustling of leaves in the trees is the only sound, a gentle lullaby as the last whispers of the storm fade into the distance. Inside Sarah's room, the warmth of the candlelight has long since softened into a faint glow, like the memory of a comforting embrace. The shadows on the walls have grown still, their dancing movements now resting, just like Sarah's heart. Sarah lies in her bed, her body relaxed and deeply at ease. Her breathing is steady and slow, matching the tranquil rhythm of the night. She feels the soft weight of the blanket over her, the warmth wrapping her in a sense of safety and comfort. The fear that once gripped her heart has melted away, leaving her with a deep sense of peace that fills every corner of her being. Her thoughts, like the soft rustling of the trees outside, are gentle and calm. Free from worry. In the quiet of her room, Sarah recalls the story of Jesus and the disciples. The storm that once seemed so powerful now feels like a distant memory, something that no longer holds any power over her. Just like the storm on the Sea of Galilee, the storms in her heart have been calmed, and she knows that with Jesus by her side, she can face anything with peace. The stillness of the night feels sacred, like a gentle whisper from God, reminding her that His love is constant, His peace unwavering. She pictures herself once again walking with Jesus beside the still waters, His presence a steady light that guides her through every storm. She feels safe, knowing that He is always with her, ready to bring peace whenever it is needed. As Sarah's mind begins to drift further into sleep, she feels a deep, peaceful surrender, a quiet trust that God is in control, that He is guiding her through every moment of her life. She no longer needs to fear the storms, for she knows that Jesus' love will always calm them. His peace, like the still waters in her dreams, flows through her, filling her heart with comfort and assurance. The room is filled with a calm, serene quiet now, the night wrapped in the warmth of God's presence. Sarah's eyelids flutter, her body sinking deeper into rest, the peace of Jesus' love settling around her like a soft blanket. She feels His love surround her, and in this moment, she knows that nothing can disturb the calm He has given her. As she drifts into a restful sleep, Sarah whispers a soft prayer of thanks, her heart full of peace. She thanks God for His love, for His presence, and for the reminder that no matter what storms may come, He will always be with her, ready to bring calm to her heart. Good night, dear one, and may you rest in the calm and peace of God's love.